Your next stop is your success. Lane clear of negative eyes, please.
Help me understand why that's your truth if that's not what was intended. Understand why you see it that way. And if you're able to sit and communicate and talk, a
Absolutely.
lot of less arguments.
And still, and even though those points may be made, and we still respect each other, and we're not going to let this problem or issue or whatever's occurring right now to break us.
Exactly.
I still might not agree with you
I
at
was
the end
just
of that.
going to say that.
You know
I
what I'm
may not
saying?
agree.
I
But
still
I
may
respect your point.
right. My feelings still may be my feelings, but
Mhm.
I'm going to say, you know what? That's fair, and
Mhm.
I can respect your perspective on it or your outlook on it.
Mhm.
But and still feel the way that I feel. But understand that okay, they see it this way. You know what I'm saying? Just not just say, just throw what they're saying out the window. Now, and then it may be times on the other hand where I'm just dead wrong. Or where the person is dead wrong. And you just gotta really be honest with yourself. Like that wasn't right. That wasn't nice. It wasn't, it wasn't none of like that you were wrong.
And the hardest thing to do is to go be like, yo, my bad. That's the hardest thing to do.
But you know what's so crazy, sis? It's not. Like
Mhm.
if you just do it and don't let it build up, like
Yeah.
yo, I was wrong. Like I'm
Yeah.
sorry. Like
Yeah.
and move the fuck on.
Yeah,
Like
I've done that. I've
you know
done.
what I'm saying? Like that's the space that I'm trying to stay in right now. And I'm not saying I'm no expert at it. I'm going to still, but I'm trying to just be in that space right now. Like something occurs and I'm trying to like take it on right now. Like I don't want us to keep being in a problem. Like, cause you can feel it when something is going on. You're in, especially if you're in the house with somebody else. You're walking around that refrigerator door slams a little harder than it normally does. You know what I'm saying?
Walking a little harder. But I used to be that girl. I'm telling you, God has really. I've always had like a huge heart and really just like really, really sweet. But when you make me angry, I legit could be in the house with you for a whole week or two and you will be freaking invisible.
Right.
I will see through you.
Right.
And that's such a horrible quality to have. And so I've learned now I'm going to be in my moment because I need that moment. I got to bring it down, right? Because I
Right.
don't want to talk to you still with that tone and aggression.
Right.
Not days, but I literally need a moment, an hour or so to bring it down. And I will talk to you and say, listen, this is not what I intended. Um, I apologize. This is how you made me feel. I don't know if
Right.
this is what you intended. So it's taken years for me to
Absolutely.
recognize those not so cool attributes about myself. And when I see it coming in this next chapter that God has given me, I've learned to be able to be like, okay, suck it up. It's just one little thing. It's not the end of the freaking world. Like that's my little 1%. Let me go make the phone call, or maybe not make the phone call. When they call me, I'll pick up as opposed to boop.
Looking at the thing like,
All right, girl, take your phone, please, bye. But then you want the person to call you. Yeah, they calling me.
right.
I'm gonna call
But
you back when I'm ready.
right, but you know what's so crazy about that? So you say that, so do you choose to do that, right? So that's the beauty about the relationship with the Lord, right? Is that we have a choice, we have this free will.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
the beauty of it. So at any moment, you can choose to not do this. It's that easy. Like
yeah,
people are like, nah, nah. No, yeah. It
yeah.
absolutely is. It absolutely is. And it takes you being that honest with self for it to be that easy. You
Mhm.
know, people want to hold on to the offense instead of
Exactly.
seeing what the beauty is in the relationship. You want to continue to be even in okay, so even in divorce, right? Or a breakup, like we just hold on to the offense for so fucking long
Some
that
people.
it just ravishes our lives.
Yep.
That
Yep.
anytime you think of somebody and you just hear that name and it makes something and you kind of stir, it makes this
Girl,
eye kind of twitch, it makes you do a little
you
doogle doogle.
never lie.
it's it's it's
Ooh,
it's 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 something that you need to get a control over. You need to make a choice that you're not going to let that person have that much power in your life, that when you just think of this person you're just like,
girl, that used to be with me with Lucifer. When the guy
mm,
changed his name, he needs his real name. But
right,
that was the name he was when I dated him. And
right,
for years, I literally, it's not good to hate people, but I legitimately hated this individual.
mm-hmm.
Or when you look on in hindsight, everything that they put me through. And then it wasn't until years later, I have to say, maybe 20 years later, that they found me and they called. And the guilt was eating them up about how they made me feel.
Mm-hmm.
And so the minute I was like, I know this is over with, I forgave him. I promise you, I felt the energy, even though I wasn't thinking about him, but I was still carrying that for so many years, literally felt the weight just lifted
But that's what
off my
that's what
shoulders.
life is, right? Like
Mhm.
that's why when people say about, and yourself, and a couple of other of our good friends have had grief hit at their doorstep, where it was that intimate grief, where it was grief that was so personal, losing a husband, losing a father, losing, like, you really have to know how to, like, it's going to show itself. Like sometimes you can say, I have control over this, like I've dealt with the grief, but that's not how grief is, because that's not how life is. Like you can have a aroma, a scent can go in the air, and it'll remind you of
Honey,
that person years and years, and you just break down and cry. And you know what, but what we have to recognize is that that's okay. It's okay. It's still always a part of the process that's going on, that's going to continue. But that's the same thing what I'm trying to say, what relationship, that although that person brings up, when you hear that name, sometimes a bitterness comes up, you have to then just take control over that feeling and just throw it to the side and say, I'm not going to let it, you have to make the choice
you
to
do,
say
you
that
do.
I'm not going to allow that that energy, that feeling, to get the better of my thought process right now. And then on the other hand of that, I'm sorry, I'm just like going on a tangent right now.
Girl,
Then
you
on the other hand of that, I feel like something got you to the altar with this person. Sometimes it's things like how we talked about before, where it was like family got you there, life got you there because you felt like you needed to do this. But sometimes you got to the altar because you felt like you loved this person. So
Mhm.
in that time that you loved this person, how long you've been with them, a year, 10 years, whatever it is, you've had some good times in that relationship,
Of
right?
course, of
You've
course.
had some things that happened, kids might have came out of it. Like I think we need to stay focused on those things, even when the person was the biggest bitch, the biggest whatever, this guy did this, she did that. Like we need to focus the energy in on those things. Hardest, is it easier said than done? Now that I'm thinking, just to be fair to us as human beings, I'm going to say yes. But the fact that we have this thing called choice and free will, I think is
Hello.
very easy. You understand what I'm saying? And I think it's very easy now because at the space that I am in my life,
That's
that
what
I
it,
think is very easy.
that's
You
what
know
it
what I'm saying?
is.
For you to say, because for me, it's not logical. For somebody who I don't even want to have any intimacy with, I don't have any, the only reason I may have any love for them because they brought forth children or something for me, or, for me to think of this person and now they still make me angry. I think that shit makes me mad. That I'm allowing this person to do
But to still have that much power over your emotions.
that. Right.
Very, very true. But unfortunately, some people have triggered people in their lives that
I just
really
think that you just
rattle
have to
their
you have to
nerves.
get to that point. You know what I'm saying? It's
Yeah.
it's probably, it may be something that they do in their life that I will be like, oh, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Well, I agree with you, honey, on that.
Yeah.
But it takes years. It takes time. It takes time reconnecting with yourself to
Mm.
recognize it's not even worth giving my energy. I'd rather have my energy to breathe, to eat, to walk, to drink, to think.
Right. It did sometimes, right? Like sometimes, like we get in these damn relationships with people sometimes, and sometimes somebody was just supposed to be in a relationship just to love you to the creative person you are, just to bring that out of you. Sometimes somebody was brought into your life just to nurture the that anger that's in you, to know, for you to know how to manage it, and they were supposed to be that person in your life, but we put so much into people sometimes that they not supposed to have. You know what I'm saying?
And everyone is there for a season. We can't,
Some
we
people,
believe in
right,
coincidences.
right,
It's
yeah.
the path that we're taking. And in hindsight, when you look back, I think that we could possibly look at every relationship in hindsight and see, no matter how horrible it was, how that situation has made you the person, the individual that you are now, or the
Absolutely.
individual that you're trying to get to be ahead.
Absolutely.
So again,
Absolutely.
we have to really say,
It
okay,
makes me look at myself. Now, I mean, not just the person. If I'm gonna be straight up honest, you know what I'm saying? Like all the shit that I did, like that wasn't nice. Oh, that wasn't cool. Oh, you should you you know what I'm saying? You should have pulled back. Like you can't be that person no more. Like you can't show up in a relationship like that no more and expect it to work. Like it's not gonna work. Like I have to acknowledge that within myself. Like I'm not going to say who it was. I asked someone yesterday, like, to make sure that when you're looking at a relationship now, like, what quality do you have in yourself, or what do you always present to a relationship that you feel you're doing in error? Like, make sure you try to rectify your errors in yourself before you keep trying to, check somebody else. You know what I mean?
it's almost like, pointing the rod at someone and not really, looking at everybody's faults, but not taking the time to look at what are your faults? What do you bring to the table? What have you done? So it's so important. Again, that perspective, just fall back and take a minute to really process before you go in on someone.
Yeah.
Now, there are some divorces that just have to happen. Like you legit
Absolutely.
just don't get along.
But they have to happen because all of the reasons that we talked about too.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Because all of those things that we talked about as well. And then they have to stay together because all those things that we talked about. You have to have you have to have balance and a fairness and perspective and all that. Be straight up honest with yourself. Like, you know what I mean? Like, because in relationship, I'm just sitting back thinking about relationship. Like, right there. Ooh, that was the point, right? To acknowledge that, that's when it started, right there. And that's the point you need to bring up to your partner, like immediately when it happens. But you have to be with somebody who, when you go in a relationship with them, they know that that's your defense, that's your go-to, that is communication. They don't find it a burden for you to come to them to want to talk to them about something. Like I just don't understand. For me, I just cannot be with somebody who does not understand that perspective, because that is such a priority in relationship for me is communication, that I can't be with somebody who that's not something that they do. It's just not going to work. Because how do I know or perceive or get to even feel if you're not using your words? Like you could get somebody's what they're feeling through their emotions and through what they're doing around the house, but I need to hear from your voice. Now your words, use your words. Like what's happening? What are you feeling right now? What am I doing wrong so that I can rectify it? Maybe it's something that I can fix, and yes, we do need to break up, because that's not something that I'm going to change. Maybe it's something that I'm just not going to change. And if they tell me that it's something, babe, this is something I'm not going to change, like I'm like, okay.
I'm looking for something right now that is exactly what we're talking about right now.
Yeah, it's like
I'll move kind of slow on this, so hopefully I could find it.
And now, no, G, going into a relationship, like everything needs to be on Front Street, right? It needs to be like, where do both of us want to land at? Like, what does it look like? What does a relationship, that's in a whole look like for you? Like, you know what I mean? Like, you need to know all that stuff. But go ahead before you lose your thought again.
So I'm going to know. I want to play this because it's
please.
exactly what we are talking about
Really?
right now,
Okay.
about the man is kind of taking a back seat on the communication, very nonchalant, and doesn't really recognize all these red flags.
Worst type of man in the world to have is a nonchalant man. So when a man care about you, there's nothing nonchalant about his feelings towards you. There's so many chicks out there right now in a nonchalant ass relationship. She don't know where she stand in it. The man don't never express to her how you feel about her. He don't never like try to set no boundaries or try to put her on some game or nothing like that. It's just, hey, whatever you want to do, wherever you want to go. She might as well be by herself if that's the case.
Ah!
So it's kind of along those lines of him not expressing, he's just taking a back seat. I can't have a man like that.
Yeah, I think that if anybody, man or woman, he's talking about man because he was giving it for a woman to have that thought in her head. Man or woman, that it's no way if you're in love with somebody, you could be a nonchalant person, because I definitely have been told that I'm a nonchalant person. Like, I'm not going to be a person that's all, you know, feely and all that kind of stuff. That's just not who I am.
I'm not
But
nonchalant.
as right,
Definitely not nonchalant.
but as far as like supporting my person, showing up for them if they need me to go somewhere with them, if it's any of that kind of stuff, like, I'm not nonchalant in that aspect of the relationship. So I don't think if somebody really cares about you that they should be nonchalant in the relationship. Like, it's a relationship does not call for you to be nonchalant. In certain aspects you're going to be nonchalant, because if that's just who you are as a person, and it's going to be certain aspects of the relationship that you're going to be more into, because you feel more comfortable in that part of the relationship. But you shouldn't have to be pulling teeth for somebody to call you, or somebody to say they want to hang out with you, or any of those type of things. And that brings me back to the point that I was trying to make with this person with the friendship. Because for me, this person was showing me how they love with their friends. Like, this is how you love your friends. This is how you show friendship, what friendship looks like to you. But I don't never see none of that. So for me, that wasn't good. Yeah.
Yeah. Where do I stand? And nonchalant. I need a man to be expressive, even though sometimes the expressiveness can be a bit overbearing. But I'd much rather deal with the honesty in your expression than to deal with somebody who's kind of taking a back seat. I want you to know where I'm going. I want you to ask where you're going. I want you to tell me, yo, be careful. I want you to tell me I'll pick you up, or the neighborhood isn't too good, or whatever.
What time you getting in?
What time you getting in? Call me when you get in. Call me when you get there.
Those kinds of things are normal and to be expected. If you don't have those things in a relationship, then I would have to say that there's a lack in that relationship if you don't have those type of things. Like, I couldn't have my person go away anywhere and I don't call them to send them off, or when they land they don't call me. Like, it needs to be, like that kind of stuff. I should not even have to tell you. You know what I mean? That's not even checking in on somebody. That's just plain old caring and making sure that they land it's safety for your person. You know what I mean? Like,
your person is that nonchalant that they don't check up on you.
You went on a whole
that's
trip.
not your person.
I went on a whole trip and you didn't call me, and you talking about, oh, I should have called you. You know what? That's funny right there, because that can be either both need to happen. That's what I'm sitting here talking to you now about it. Yeah. Both things need to happen. I need to be calling you, and you need to be calling me.
Exactly.
To make sure that I've landed. Did you land? You on your way home? I know your flight said, like, all of a sudden, I know your flight was at, I don't know, your flight was at 6:00, and now you had some kind of layover or something. And I'm like, oh, I call you. I'm like, oh, man, you home? You did that. And he's like, no, I'm still in the airport. Like, what the hell you still doing in the airport? You didn't even call your person to tell them that it was a delay in your flight, and you said,
hello, because they're going to expect you to get to your destination at a certain time.
Right.
Those are just things that, I don't know, that when you're in a relationship,
it's just a given. It's just, for me, it's just common courtesy, and it's just what it is. That's
Right,
what you
it just
do.
happens. Yeah. I mean, I went away and I was always making my little, they were making my calls or they were calling me, checking up. Your flight is at this time.
Let me
Whatever,
tell you, when I
whatever.
was in a relationship, if my person went away, I mean, like I was on the vacation with them.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, like I was on, and it wasn't overbearing. Like they did their thing on their vacation. They enjoyed their family, they enjoyed their friends, or whatever they were doing, on their vacation. But I was along for the ride on that vacation. And
Yeah.
I'm not saying that you even have to take it that far, but I need to be knowing what's going on through the vacation, as well as if it was if it was me.
And you got to check in at least in the morning. You could, hey, I'm just waking up, whatever. Good night at the nighttime.
Right.
And if you can in the middle, you do a little quick little text. I mean, it's not hard.
It got to be some communication, especially when you're apart from each other, especially if
Yeah.
this is your person. If this is just somebody who you just casually dated, then that's fine. But if this
That's
is
a different
my
story.
boyfriend, my husband, come on.
Yeah,
I need to know what's going on, and you should want to be informing me of what's going on.
that's
You
right.
should want to be sharing with me what's happening. You're not here, babe. Oh, I wish you were here. This, that. Or sometimes maybe you don't wish I was there. Like maybe you need a damn break from me.
Damn, maybe the vacation was from us.
The vacation was because you need to, like, but that's fine too. But I need to, like, you wake up in the
still need to
morning,
know.
yeah, it's just certain things, common courtesies that go on through a relationship. You could be so nonchalant in so many spaces that it just makes the person feel like you're falling out of love with them when you're not.
Oh yes, honey, that nonchalant was because
I had to check
that's my
myself on
love
that now.
language. You need to show me through certain ways that you are in tune with me. And so if you're not calling me or checking up on me, I'm going to feel some kind of a way because I'm used to somebody who's into me checking up on me or just talking to you every day. I got to talk to you every day. I don't need a 50, look at your face. I don't need a 50-hour conversation, but I got to talk to my guy every day. My morning and my night, I got to know that you are home safe. And I got to know that the Lord woke you up.
No, I didn't make that face because of that. I agree with you. Like I agree that you should. I don't think a day should go by if you're in a relationship with somebody that you don't talk to that person without communicating with that person.
Things happen.
I think you should communicate with the person morning and night. I definitely think you should. Like, and for me, like this is just me. I'm not saying that this is no rule that needs to be in a relationship. Like even in the middle of the day, like you said, even if you're not talking to the person, a text or something like
I need something in the middle too. I need something in the middle. 3 times a day.
You need something in the middle. Yeah,
in the middle. In the middle.
I wasn't talking about that, but yes, definitely
Need in the middle.
We definitely need something in the middle.
Modi in the middle.
Yeah, but yeah, I mean, I've been victim to that too, where I was the person that was very nonchalant because I definitely would say in relationship that I need my space. Like, even if I always say this to you, so I'm going to say this. Even if I was in a relationship with somebody, I'm married, whatever. I mean, like, I need space. Like, I need to be able to I just need to be able just to feel myself, just to feel my own presence, just to be in tune with who I am. Like, and I don't need you in my space, but I want you to be there. So I need the person, like I told you, I need the person to be like a cat. Like I describe it like a cat and a dog. So you know how dogs are. So dogs come in the house, you come in the house and dogs are all like, they want you, loving you, they doing this. And like, you can have company over like 10 times and then you be like, yo, and on the 10th time you can say, oh, I got a cat. And you be like, bitch, you got a cat? Yeah, I ain't never with a cat. But
So
because the cat is there, but it's always hot. I need my man to be like a cat sometimes. Like I need to call him like, yo, babe. And they go, yeah. I go, okay, he's still here. Okay, I need him to be like that.
I need the puppy vibe.
I need a dog sometimes. Sometimes I do need a dog where they at the door and they going crazy and all that. But sometimes I need you to be a cat.
I think I want you to be a dog all day.
You want a dog all the time? Okay, that's fair. That's what rocks your boat. If that's
Oh,
what
but I
rocks your
do need
boat.
my space too. I do. I enjoy, although I enjoy being with my partner, in any relationship. I like that company. Um,
Hmm.
but I also need my time. I think in all relationships, you need that time away from your partner because you gotta kind of decompress a little bit. You gotta reset. You gotta like process. You just need you need me time in your own house as well, not outside me time, but you need your own
Right,
me
and
time private.
and that's what I meant.
Private.
I meant not spending a lot of time away from my person because I don't think you should do so. It should be so much that you do in your life that's outside of your person. You know what I mean? I think that that actually makes a better relationship when you guys do more things together,
Mhm.
building each other up. Like I even think now at this point, for me, like if we work together, that would be all right with me. I could do that.
I learn how to create your
But
boundaries.
still working together doesn't mean, and I don't mean working together in the same building. I mean working on things together.
Okay.
But still working on things together doesn't mean that we need to be up underneath each other. But I'm big on presence and just energy. So just that, like just being in the house and I'm in the bedroom or I'm in wherever I'm at and I can hear my person come in the door, that makes me feel like
I love that.
you can hear them, you know what I'm saying? Or you hear them in the kitchen, or they washing their hands, or you in the room and they just come peeking in the room and be like,
That's cute. Go walk by, slap him in the butt, I'll give him a kiss
right,
real quick, and go
right.
by your separate ways.
Now go be a cat. Now go be a cat.
Go
Like,
be a cat.
yeah, right. But you know what I'm saying? Like yeah,
Yeah,
I
yeah,
do
this
love
is
I
good.
do like relationship, but that's why communication is so key because all of this that I'm saying, this may not align with somebody's point of view for a relationship.
Not
So
at all.
if this doesn't align with their point of view in relationship, it's never going
That's
to
not
work.
your person. That's not
Right,
your person.
right,
They
right,
have to be able to understand you and your partner have to be able to understand one another, understand each other's characteristics, quirkiness, right?
mhm.
And if you want to continue, then you continue, but don't be 5 years later hating what you already
Right.
knew
That's so
how
because
I was on day one.
but especially now in all the life that we lived and all the experiences that we've had, this is like it made us who we are now. That's why I was thinking that this is what I was going to say earlier. That is, I think it's going to be a little like controversial. I
Uh-huh.
think that when you are younger and you're in relationship, um, I think there's more tendency for a person to step out, and I think there should be more forgiveness there when you're younger and a person stepping out, because I think that if you haven't had experience with other people, you want that experience. Like you start getting those experiences from other females or for men, and for other men with women at work, at
Mhm.
the gym, at here, at there, at in different little conversations and stuff. And you're like, oh, that was cute. Oh, you can find yourself seriously attracted to somebody else, but not want to be with that person. But or sometimes
That
you
trait.
can
Yeah.
step out on on your person. And that's what I'm saying. I think when you're younger, the forgiveness and the allowance
It's
is
great.
more there. You're not thinking about it in that way that I'm thinking about it now because I am who I am now at this age. But I
Yeah.
think then it's more allowance because you don't have the footing. You're not standing in who you really are as a person. Like
Exactly.
now, that would not even be a consideration for me. If I was with somebody now, like they would not have to, like that would even be a consideration, like talking to somebody else. Like I chose to be with you, you chose to be with me. This is what I'm doing.
Hello, in this season that we're in, not at
But
all.
when I was younger, like and to the experiences that I had allows me to be at a space now that I can have this kind of clarity and know that what I want from a relationship because I went through those things. So I'm thinking if I didn't have those things, would I be going through that now? I'd be like,
Mm.
I don't know.
Makes us who we are, and we know what we want. And by this time, you kind of ironed out all your kinks. I mean, if you're still trying to iron some kinks, you're definitely not my person. At
Well,
this
shit,
stage,
I am. Listen, I'm still trying to I'm still ironing out kinks, but I know enough of what I want in a relationship to be able to express that to a person and know that if they say that they want XYZ and that doesn't align
No,
with me.
ironing out kinks in terms of stepping out of the relationship, not knowing
Oh, okay,
how to be
absolutely.
one.
Yeah.
Like at this stage, you got to know I'm in it, whether it works or not. You put in your 1,000% because we're looking at longevity, maybe marriage, whatever it is. Those kinks, not
Right.
girl. We are every day we're learning about ourselves. You'll never
Girl,
fully
I'm telling you,
be where you
sis,
want to
I
be.
am not the same person I was 3 months ago.
Oh,
Like, if somebody, they would be like, oh, they might have a perspective of who they think that I am. And I might not even be in line with that thought process that I had just 3 months ago because of all the things that I've been listening to and the reading that I have been doing and the people that I've encountered and all that kind of stuff. You know what I mean? So that's why too, when people say, I'm just all over the place. When people talk
it's
about
like my hair. We good. I'm hot. This thing is heavy. It's itchy. I'm like,
feeling it right now. Like when people say, oh, they in jail, they just changed because they in jail. That's for me, I can honestly believe that somebody in jail can definitely turn their life and give it to the Lord and be
oh,
the
completely.
best person that they can be in the Lord because
Completely.
they don't have distractions that we have out here.
God.
We have all kind of different types of people, different types of food. We presented with this. We can watch this. We can go here. We can go there. They're just in that cell with those group of
Lord,
people, and
that's
all they have is time, and they have time to sit and just be with the Lord and allow the Lord to bring clarity and them to be, really hear from the Lord. So I really believe that somebody in jail can definitely say, you know what? When I come out of this bitch, I am this person. And then when they went in there, whoever they went in there as, and they come out as another person, the person be like, oh, how can I can really see how they can be.
and I've seen that happen. Some people
Right,
completely
right.
take the opportunity to become a better individual and become in tune with God. You know, whatever
All you got is fucking time in there.
you better
Right.
do something productive.
Right. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, that so I can definitely see that. But yeah, for me, sis, my thing with relationship, my go-to is communication. And if that's not your go-to, then you're probably not going to be my person because I need to be able to give to you what you need, but I need to be able to hear it from your. So what I'm hearing from you, like, I even almost want to give it back to you, like if it's like a problem that's in the relationship or something that's occurring that's making us have some kind of tension or whatever. Like I need to be able to say this back to you. You say yes. That's what I'm saying.
It's important to be
Yeah.
honest. That's something in a relationship that you don't really do, which comes with the whole communication, because you're always afraid of offending the other person or they may not take it the right way. But it's okay with a person that loves you and really wants to be with you. They might be in their feelings for a minute, but you know what? They're going to get over it and they're going to listen to what you have to say and they're going to make the necessary changes in order to make that relationship work.
Right. Right. Right.
And that's
Right. That's that, girl.
it.
I love this. So I think we should do more, and you guys let us know what you think as well. But I love this aspect of like, hearing somebody else's point of view on something and then saying, oh, or even making us look at things differently, and then we can give our point of view on it as well.
I like this. I like it too.
Hmm.
It's effortless. It's very organic.
Yeah, and it just makes us have conversation with other people that's not even here. Like so we can bring their conversation into our conversation.
Yup. So next time on Brown Sugar and Sofrito.
Ah!